maybe about 10, 15 years ago, I'm not sure. It was something happened over in the Raytown School District, and they was interviewing some of the students over there on television, and some of the students were saying, you could hear them saying, nobody's listening to our side of what went on. You know, they was hearing what the adults said and what the authorities were saying, but the students were saying nobody's listening to our side of it. The thought occurred to me. I said, you know, it probably would be good to have an outlet where the students, you know, would have the capacity to tell their side of it. And then thinking about it some more, you get to think and say, okay, why don't we come up with a teenage newspaper that would be done for community basis that we could work with the young people. Now, like in regular high schools, they have faculty advisors, right? Okay, so we said, okay, we would have community advisors.
We have a dynamic group of people, a lot of very talented students, staff. Everyone's really energized and really passionate about this.
The Rising Sun gives me the opportunity to network with students, but actually have a one-on-one approach with them. A lot of times you have large groups and you can't single those students out to actually help them with their opportunities.
A lot of kids don't have opportunities to like network with people outside of their communities, and I think that it's important for them to be able to network so that they can succeed.
I would like for students to be able to have some thoughtful dialogue with adults, for one, that are like-minded. Also, to be able to gain some technical and practical experiences that they can get paid for two. And then just take a look at the community from a different light.
It's important for me to stay involved in activities like this because it's like, I guess, a stepping stone for me before I get to where I need to be, and it looks good on resumes for jobs and everything. So I guess you could say it's kind of like practice.
I want it to be a place that students can come into and get experience, not just from the journalism part, because I'm not a journalist, I don't write, and so I'm not really into the media aspect, but if we can get students in for them to learn professionalism, if journalism is their thing, if technology is their thing, we can have a place for them.
Learning Center had a IT component that we host websites and all that. So the idea was if we published it online, we didn't have to worry about printing and all that. So that's why we thought of, in the early days, of online newspaper to benefit the young people in the area.
My role in the Rising Sun is to help develop the Rising Sun website. We're currently developing that, and it's coming out pretty good right now with the help of the help of the other staff members, and teaching the students about how to develop a website or develop a logo or different things like that.
My topic is social networking. So I'll be basically going on Twitter and Facebook promoting the site and promoting Rising Sun altogether.
Not everybody has an opinion about, today's politics, today's, unfortunately, even though I'd like people to have a decent opinion about that stuff, but music is something that's just relatable through, genre-wide, age-wide. We always have that connection with people. Music's always been there, and it's always something that we can come together and talk about as a community.
It's just an opportunity to give back, I wouldn't be where I am if a lot of adults hadn't paid attention to me, when I was in my formative years as youth. And I think youth now have an opportunity to do some amazing things as long as their energy is channeled and they're challenged to do, great things. And I think that the Rising Sun and all the youth participating in the Rising Sun have the ability to do great things.
The title Rising Sun comes from Lift Every Voice and Sing, facing the rising sun. And then I would talk to the young people and I'd ask them, what is a sun? And they say it's a star. And I said, yes. I said, that's what you are, rising stars. So that's where the Rising Sun title kind of came from.
I want people to get out of my work is like inspiration, I guess. Because some people look at photography and they're like, oh, you don't make too much money off of it, you're not going to make a living off of it, and that's not the point. I just like to do photography just because, I enjoy it. So.